Well, hello and welcome everyone to another day here at Live at the Waterhole. My name is Amy and I will be with you for the first half of the show today. And we are starting off here at the beautiful Djuma Private Game Reserve within the Sabi Sands of the Greater Kruger National Park. And we have a lovely bird of prey here on a tree around Djuma Dam. It has been raining quite a bit. We had quite a lot of rain overnight in the Lowveld and throughout the morning. So this bird, you will see it is drying off. It's puffed its feathers out and is preening through, realigning all the feathers and getting some of the water out, drying itself off. Now, some of you may be wondering, well, which bird of prey is this? And there are a few things that I look at to be able to tell me which bird this is. One of the main things is that it's brown. So that limits us to a group of brown eagles. And then I see that there's a bit of yellow on the bill or the beak. And when it ruffled its feathers like that, you could see that there were feathers all the way down to the feet, making it in the group of true eagles. And the last little piece of the puzzle for me is that crest, small crest on the back of the head. Oh, and it also has a dark eye. So those factors together that this is a Wahlberg's eagle. Anyway, a great start to the morning. For those of you who are not aware, this is a live and interactive show. So please do say hello. I'd love to hear from you wherever you are in the world. We are really lucky to have viewers from all over the globe. And it is wonderful to hear where you are all joining us from, who you are, why you enjoy the show, perhaps what you're hoping to see today, or any questions you may have about what we're looking at. I always love to chat to you all, and it feels like we get to know each other a little bit more and more after every show, especially with some of the regular viewers that we have. Hi, Catherine. You say hello, everyone, and you are ready in the front row seat. That is what is so great about WildEarth, that everyone gets a front row seat, whether it is at Live at the Waterhole or on one of our live safari drives in the morning or the afternoon. In fact, there is one coming up straight after this show at 4 p.m. So please don't make sure that you don't miss that. But welcome, Catherine. It's so good to have you with us again. All right, well, as I said, it's quite overcast and drizzly here in the Lowveld area, but let's take a look at what the weather is doing across our other locations. Well, even though it may be cloudy and raining, it's still not too chilly, whether it was here or even in Madikwe. Okukuyo is looking very warm in Namibia, so I'm sure we might head over there a bit later where the sun is shining. But it's still warm, even though it is cooler with the rain. It's still around 30 degrees Celsius, so it's still it's not cold by any stretch. Miss Wahlberg's eagle, I'm sure has had a very wet few days, and is hoping now with a bit of break in the weather that it's going to be able to dry off. Maybe start looking for some food. We often get asked, especially at a distance, sometimes a guide is able to tell which bird it is. And sometimes it's the silhouette of the bird that helps. And so at this distance, we can actually see if it turns its head slightly, and you can see that crest very, look at that shaped head you're sitting on a tree. It's either going to marshal eagle, Berg's eagle with that crest like that, and of course being much, 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 much larger. And so it immediately gives you a pool of birds to limit yourself to. Can hear an orange-breasted bushrat calling as well. Hello, good morning, K9 girl. Welcome. It's good to have you here, even though unfortunately you say that it is due to your car being broken. But there's a silver lining to everything, I suppose. And if that means you get to watch a bit of the Waterhole show, we are very, very happy to have you with us, K9 girl. Usually Wahlberg's eagles are typically a lot smoother. Their feathers all nicely packed against their bodies and have this sort of solid brown look to them. But because this particular bird and many of the birds out there would have had the rain on them throughout the night and the morning, they've ruffled their feathers like this so that they have more surface area to the outside air and can start to dry off. Can actually see its claws quite nicely here as well if we want to have a closer look at them. Just how serious those talons are at the end of their feet. They can do some significant damage, not only their sharp beaks but their claws as well. A Wahlberg's eagle is often sometimes a bit tricky to identify and sometimes get confused with the likes of a tawny eagle or a lesser spotted eagle. Those are two of the more common ones that the three that can easily be confused if you're not exactly sure what you're looking for. Lesser spotted being much more similar in size to a Wahlberg's, and tawny being larger. They also have a much heavier bill, a larger head, and without this crest, the tawny and the lesser spotted. The crest being unique to the Wahlberg's, giving it away. With the lesser spotted eagle, they've got, hence the name spotted, on their wings. So if this was a lesser spotted eagle, we would actually see quite a lot of white markings or spots on the wings when they folded like this between the primary and secondary feathers. Just below there where he was pecking, there would be some white markings. And then when they open up and fly, you can actually see a white sort of UV-like shape on the rump of the bird just above the tail. It was a lesser spotted. The lesser spotted also has what we call stovepipe leggings or feathers on their legs. They quite wide on the upper part of the leg, but the last bit above the foot is very tightly packed onto the leg. which is unlike the tawny or the Wahlbergs.
This immersive program will give you an in-depth understanding of the African bush in as little as 7 days. You'll be guided by expert trainers who will lead you through the various ecosystems of Africa and teach you essential bush skills. Join Eco Training's 7 or 14-day EcoQuest course and you will receive 500 Rand off whether you sign up locally or internationally using this promo code. Further your journey as a true bush enthusiast today. Well, a Burchell starling has just landed above this Wahlberg's eagle in the closer branches. And as we were just looking at this beautiful bird doing its thing here, it's rather magnificent. Oh, it's puffing up its feathers again. I was wondering if any of the other smaller birds are going to start mobbing it when they wake up and they get a little bit of energy and maybe dry off, if we're going to see some starlings or fork-tailed drongos come and bother this beautiful Wahlbergs. So far, that Burchell starling isn't too worried about it, but we'll have to wait and see if this eagle does stick around, if some of the smaller birds are going to start mobbing it. For those of you who don't know, mobbing behavior is typically seen
for birds of prey when the smaller birds basically irritate the bird as much as they can to get it to move away from either their nests, their chicks, their eggs, or themselves. I mean, they can easily be taken by a bird of prey. So, particularly starlings and fork-tailed drongos, more so fork-tailed drongos, start mobbing the bird and dive bombing them until they move off. And that can be with any raptor. I've even seen them do it to Varro's eagles, owls. Hello, Catherine. Yes, I agree with you. I think it must be very refreshing for these animals after the rain. Um, about 2 weeks ago now, we had about 2 weeks of extreme heat, building up until sort of last week Friday. It broke with the incredible storm that came through. There we go. The eagle has, well, it has not landed. In fact, it has flown. Oh, is that this? Oh, that is the Birchall starling I saw earlier. Um, and that extreme heat, you can see, just takes its toll on the animals. Even though they are adapted to live in these extreme temperatures, it was just going on day after day after day after day. And you've just felt this need for the rain to come. And now that it has, I think everything is just cooled down. The land is cooler. There's more water around. The plants are refreshed. I think often after the rain, we have quite a bit of birding activity, especially if the sun starts to come out, which would probably happen, I think, from later this afternoon into tomorrow. It's meant to start to clear, which would be fantastic. So we'll see. But I definitely think rain is so important, and just that cooling down of the land is wonderful. All right, well, now that Wahlberg's eagle has flown off, let's go check out what's happening at Okakuyo. Oh, well, what a beautiful scene this is, everyone. Look how beautiful that sky is. Oh, my word. Not a cloud to be seen here. On a very warm day indeed. I think it was getting to the high 30 degrees Celsius. And there's just a few springbucky and walking around. Some of them start to wade all the way into the water. I love it when the springboks do that. What I particularly love about Okakuyo is that it is a perfect waterhole to sit and wait and let the animals come to you. Time after time after time, we've been here, and all of a sudden, there's a herd of zebra approaching. There are some giraffe walking by. Then, all of a sudden, a herd of elephants arrive, rather unexpectedly. And they all just appear from nowhere. Hello, Slippery. You want to know where the abdom stalks are? Are they migratory? Yes, abdom stalks are migratory. They are non-breeding migrants, so they come through well anytime from November and April, as most migrants are. Um, and I'm not sure where they are, Slippery. They clearly are not here at the moment, but they could be at many other watering holes or dams or pans or rivers where they would be. Um, as they sort of, I suppose, will come back to a similar area, but it doesn't need to be the exact same waterhole every single year. I believe that there used to be quite a few here that were seen. I'm not sure exactly how long ago that was, but maybe towards the beginning of the year. In the last season, when the migrants came through, they decided to be here at Okakuyo. But yes, they are migrants, so we could see them arrive anytime from now till around April next year. We may be able to spot one not only in Okakuyo but throughout the Lowveld area. Even Madikwe is part of their distribution range. So any one of our any one of some of the locations we might be able to spot one coming through. The abdom stalk also feeds on things like insects, crickets, worms, small vertebrates. So it doesn't necessarily have to be at the water. They could migrate to different grasslands or savanna plains. Of course, they may need to drink water, but they're not like, for example, your herons or yellow bull stork, which is mostly all around water because they're actually eating aquatic invertebrates or fish, for example. Well, it's been lovely to check in here at Okakuyo. It does look like a beautiful, warm day. So we'll keep our eye on the feed here to see if anything else comes around to the water. But why don't we go and check in at Jamala today? Well, everyone, how good is it to see some elephants? We're always not sure what's going to happen with the Ellies when the weather is like what it is. But as I said, when we looked at that weather forecast, it is actually still quite warm. Even though there has been rain around and thunderstorms in the summertime, it's actually such lovely rainy weather because it is still quite warm outside despite the cool rain. And here we have a few different herds together here, which is fantastic. Good morning, Ellies.
Eco Training's professional field guide course can make your dreams a reality. This comprehensive program comprises 5 months of theoretical and practical training in the African bush with highly qualified instructors in multiple locations. Enroll today and receive 5,000 Rand off using the promo code. If you've just finished school or tertiary education and you want to head into the wild, Eco Training's professional field guide course is for you.
Well, I have been enjoying watching these eddies so far. There's one little one. Oh, I thought it was going to face plant down. I think it's trying to drink with its mouth just because it's struggling with its trunk. Still not quite used to using it. Oh, that little one is cute. We were treated, was it not yesterday, but the day before with Ellie's just having the absolute best time in the water. But this little one is coming close to giving us some very, very adorable Ellie vibes here. Hello, April. You are saying baby elephants, hooray! Absolutely, they are always something that I do hope that we get to see. And this little one, I can imagine, for being so small, they need so much less water than everyone else. And they sort of have to be here because this is where the family is. But they get bored easily from them all drinking. And so they're trying to still have some fun. Oh, how sweet was that? It just collapsed down into the water. Hi, Dina. You say this is just way too cute for words and you just love watching. That is what it's all about. It's just about watching these animals do their thing. And occasionally we treat it with a little baby elephant like this, and it is adorable. It'll be interesting today if the sun does start coming out like it is at the moment, how many more Ellies will start making their way down here. Sometimes this place is absolutely full of elephants, triple the amount that we're seeing now. So we'll have to wait and see. It's interesting how important weather plays. That little one is now having a little suckle from mum. Well, I do just apologize if you hear any construction noises in the background, everyone. There is some work being done at the lodge which overlooks this waterhole here at Jamala. Also, if you do hear any people talking, they may be guests who have come down to look at the waterhole as well. These eddies have actually been quite quiet today. I think with not so many of them around, there hasn't been too many grumpy ones, as we like to say. Sometimes they can get quite noisy when it comes to them all being a little bit too close together or crowding around that spot that they like to drink from. So perhaps a little bit later on today, we may start to hear a few rumbles and trumpets. All right, well, we're going to keep our eye on Jamala. We never know what may wander down to the water, perhaps even some buffaloes or more elephants that arrive. But let's head back to Okokoyo, and there may be a giraffe coming down to the waterhole. Well, indeed there is, but there's also some gemsbok. I told you, these animals just appear from nowhere. All of a sudden, their silhouettes appear amongst these rocks, and then they arrive at the waterhole. The ever cautious giraffe
checking out the scene before it takes the plunge.
Hickory dickory dock, the kids ran to the spot. The clock struck 4, the kids sat down, hickory dickory dock. Our Kid Safaris bring interactive entertainment and learning to the future protectors of our world for 1 hour every weekday during our safari drives. Watch it live on your nearest device. Don't miss out on the fun. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
Well, this giraffe has finally put its head down, everyone, slowly but surely getting the water it needs. Also, just to mention again, here at Okakoyo, if you do hear any talking in the background, again, guests are here at the lodge, and sometimes we do pick up them talking on the mic. Hello, Zolani. Welcome. I'm so glad that you are enjoying the show and that you have your eyes glued to the screen. Yes, that's always the best way to do it so that you don't miss anything. But I just hope that you and everyone else watching also has a sense of relaxation, a chance to just
not think about too much really, and just let the African bush fill your mind. Take your mind off of anything else that's going on in your life at the moment, and then you just get to focus on these beautiful scenes from Africa. Can hear a orange-breasted bushwrack, but also some blacksmith lapwings making some very high-pitched squeaks. That's them there. And those are two, I think they are pied crows that we see, some of the larger birds that often fly around every now and again and then land and have a drink of water. We also saw the two Egyptian with their goslings. If I were to have to see how many are left today. Oh, and the blacksmith lapwing chicks. Yes, we have to check. They were on this side of the waterhole, so closest to us, just behind the springbuck yesterday. So we'll have to maybe do a slow scan around at some point to check if we can find the birds. Oh, I think those are the goslings on the far side with mom and dad and the little ones in front of them, actually. Well, I think this giraffe was particularly thirsty today, everyone. It really is taking its chance to be here. I suppose it is a rather long walk, so might as well take in as much water as you can.
It's a festive Wilderland. Come along as we go in search for various festive wild animals for the 12 days of Christmas. From honking geese and roaring lions to hooting owls and leaping leopards. Tune in on your nearest device and join the festive fun. Watch the live show from the 14th to the 25th of December. Don't miss out. Embrace the festive season with WildEarth.
Ist er auf den Streifen Taxen oder was?
Wenn wir uns zurück aufstehen, das ist so lustig. Das ist entfernt, ja. Ja.
Die gehen direkt rein, die Springböcke.
Keine Jäger da sein.
So, zweite Runde.
Habt alle da schön VIP-Platz. Wenn ihr wollt, hast du einen schönen Sitzplatz da ohne am Dach, ne? Keine anderen Gäste da, nur für uns gebucht. Ja, Wolkensaison ist das Ding voll. Kriegst du keinen Platz. Ne, ich sag nur leise, weil hier sind andere Leute, die meckern gerne.
Well, I heard a few calls of European bee eaters, everyone, just now. So I'm hoping that they do come around again and we get to get a view of them. They are such beautiful birds. They often form flocks. And of course, only coming in the summertime here. So very special to hear their call. I do see what it looks like some zebras approaching as well, coming down to drink. And the giraffe is still here. Hi, Tracy. Isn't it just? It is so peaceful and lovely. It's so nice to be able to just sit quietly and take in the sounds and really try and share the atmosphere of these waterholes with you through the screen. With it being quite warm here today, there's a good chance that we may see some elephants come by. It's always been a highlight for me here in Okukuyo when that happens because we don't see them every day. Sometimes it's just a lone bull, but occasionally we do get a herd of elephants that come through and just have the best time splashing about. And then they move off after about 15 minutes or so, so they're not here for too long. So it does feel like a special little experience for everyone when they do come through.
Und der Tiger? Der Tiger, ja. Ich suche noch den Koala auf dem Kuduan. Und Grizzly? Nicht kleiner See? Die wird wahrscheinlich heute auch zu machen. Das denke ich ist Feiertag heute. Deswegen hätte ich jetzt empfohlen, dass wir hier Lunch machen. Weil jetzt, wenn wir losfahren, dann ist es schon wieder 2 Uhr oder 3 Uhr. Lunch, so kaltes Trinken. Ja, noch den Staub jetzt.
Das heißt, das trinken montiert.
Genau.
Aber es hat sich gelohnt für euch zum Offenbaren.
Ja.
Kein gekauft, glaube ich, gar nicht. Wie viele Elefanten hatten die ungefähr? Ach so,
Einen alten
Elefant.
Einen alten Elefantenbullen.
Der Elefant direkt vor dem Auto.
Ja, der
Da
ist
ist er
wirklich
gequert, weil er zum Wasserloch
gegangen.
wollte.
Ja, auch hautnah. Wahrscheinlich das Wilde, total.
Schau dir hinten an.
Ja, ja, die Verjährung. Die haben immer dabei.
Besser. Das wird man geflogen.
Ja, und die Gepardenmutter hat ja mindestens ein Junges gehabt. Wenn ich jetzt kurz weiß. Das haben wir
Geparden
nicht so
ist
genau
sehr
gesehen.
selten. Sehr selten.
Ja,
Ich meine, es war weit weg.
Well, everyone, there are some more zebras that are coming down to drink. And we were thinking of maybe having a little look to see if we could find these Egyptian geese and their babies, even the lapwings and theirs. So just bear with us as we try and get the camera in the right place. Sometimes it is a little bit jumpy. Actually looks like some impala are drinking here next to the springbuck. They almost look so dark in color in comparison.
Führer ist offizieller Feiertag von Jörg. Heute ist aber schon der 11.
Deswegen ist heute dann extra frei.
Ich weiß es nicht. Und schon die nehmen in Österreich.
Marco.
Ja, die Erdmännchen. Hinten rechts, also Breitbüsche geradeaus. Hinter dem dritten Busch rechts. 2 Äste links. Siehst du? Da noch 2000 Jahre.
I think we've found the Egyptian geese and their goslings, everyone. There they are. Mom and dad and the babies.
Da im Süden ist ja Flughafen komplett abgeschafft. Wir haben einen halben Meter Wasser auf dem Land, das nicht stehen kann.
Da ist nur in Indien die
Taifun.
Taifun.
Ja, Taifun.
Aber dann bei denen brechen auch viele Flugbänken, weil sie den ganzen Sand die ganze Zeit wegschütten und nicht wissen, was unerlaubt ist für die Betonindustrie. Und dann wundern sie sich, wieso die Häuser da verfallen zum Fluss oder reinfallen. Ja, der Mensch. Der Mensch ist nur zu bewundern. Vor allem Chinesen und Inder.
Actually looks like one of the parents has created some shade for those babies to sit underneath it, using itself as an umbrella.
Der Löwe muss ja auch was essen. Vegetarier haben sie einfach.
Dann nimmst du nur Papier mit. Wenn er satt ist, nimmst du nur Papier mit.
When these goslings are born, they come out of their shells fully feathered and ready to go.
They can move. Look, they can already get into the water. You can see 2 of them there. I think there were about 6 yesterday, so hopefully they are still.
Aber man muss aufpassen, da kann auch paarweise schwanger sein. Interessant, immer die Tiere wissen eigentlich, welche rechtzeitig mehr oder weniger Geburt gehen zur Regenzeit. Die können sogar auf den Paar von den
Oh, there's definitely some movement underneath the parent goose that's closest to the water. So I think there might be 1 or 2 more underneath there in the shade. Hello, Villy. You say this place is always teeming with life. It is indeed, isn't it? At first glance, sometimes it may look very sort of deserted and quiet. But if you just have a little bit of patience, everything starts to move. And more game or animals can be seen. And even the birds around the waterhole are so well camouflaged that it's really only when we take a closer look that we get to see the life that surrounds it. So I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goslings still, everyone. Very happy to see that. I think they might all be going for a swim now with mom and dad. Let's have a look and see. It's providing some shade again. That is just the sweetest thing. When they go into the shade of mom and dad so that they don't have to stand in the sun so much.
Rein und raus, weil die Katzen haben ja Stacheln auf dem Gesicht. So, das ist eigentlich, um die Eierstöcke vom Weibchen anzureizen, dass die
Africam's YouTube channel delivers daily doses of enchanting wildlife moments. Experience highlights captured live from our cameras to stay informed about the wildlife action. Dive into the immersive world of Africam's YouTube membership community. Engage in live chats, express yourself with custom emojis and badges, and unlock exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Subscribe to Africam's YouTube channel today and become part of a wildlife-loving community.
Ja, schon rein. Kann auch laufen. Zu weit? Zu weit? Gleich. 10 Minuten.
And swimming again. Painting.
All the animals still here around Okukuyo, slowly but surely getting done what they need to do. There's a book that's arrived there on its own. There's also a group of zebra drinking. And of course, a few springbuck as well.
Nicht viel.
Aber seine Adler ausgekotzt, der hat die Fische gesehen. Ja, das haben sie. Und das taucht natürlich auch gern dann. Ja, doch.
Und er wollte immer als Nummer 1 fahren. Das hatte den Vorteil, dass wir weniger Staubgeschmutz haben.
Das ist so, wenn die Marek stiegelt fast.
Ja, da habe ich schon drüben noch früher schönes gehabt, wo wirklich die komplette Oryx im Wasser ist.
Hello, canine girl. You are asking if, well, you say that antelope, giraffe, and zebra are very tolerant of one another. Is there a time when this is not the case? There's some zebra calling there. Canine girl, it's a tricky one to say no, that is always the case. They're always tolerant of one another because these animals, as predictable as sometimes they are in behavior, and for all logical reasons, those should not be ever be not tolerant of one another due to the fact that they're all eating different things, they're all at different heights and levels, so the competition between them is not there. So there's no need for them to have conflict between those species. However, I think possibly where something may, the situation that may arise where they aren't tolerant of one another would be in the likes of extreme circumstances, particularly in times of drought when there's not a lot of food availability for these animals. Then we see, for example, grazers starting to not be so tolerant of one another, chasing each other around maybe because there's only so much grass available. Giraffe are a little bit of an exception in terms of they are a lot taller. They can reach areas that many other animals can't reach. So they sort of have their own niche in which they fit in. But it's not to say that between them and elephants, for example, there may be a time when they don't become less tolerant of one another. And I suppose there's also exceptions to be seen when there are very little babies around, although they're not there to hunt each other or to hurt each other purposefully. If there was a situation where, for example, two males are fighting and they lose focus and they, are going to sort of trample into or run into a herd of something else, or a mom with a baby or something, then I think there might be a little bit of conflict or interaction that won't be so friendly between these species. But for the most part, I think canine girl, they are very tolerant because they don't have competition between them, and they also aren't threats to one another.
Die Unterkünfte sind nie so überzeugt. Die Unterkünfte sind nie so überzeugt.
Hast du eine Flasche dahin gelegt? Ja.
Canine girl, yes, absolutely. This is such a beautiful spot here. And Okokuyo is particularly stunning with its sky and landscape. And today, actually, extremely so. For whatever reason, the sky is just this almost ombre effect of blue, and not a cloud in the sky as well. And I think it's that contrast, canine girl, between a very sort of bland landscape, if I could put it in those terms, brown and gray and white, with this stunning turquoise sort of blue that's in the sky.
Step into a world of discovery as you join Eco Training's renowned courses in the heart of Kenya's Masai Mara. These courses are the perfect way to gain a deep understanding of the African bush, even if you have limited time. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to experience the wild in a meaningful and life-changing way. Enroll today and embark on a transformative journey with Eco Training in Kenya's Masai Mara, the leading force in conservation education.
Well, it's beautiful to see the zebra drinking here, everyone, slowly but surely. We've had them approaching this waterhole, and I love when they walk in so far. Almost getting their bellies completely wet. Well, I can't believe how quick time flies on the show, but in a few minutes, we're actually going to be joined by AfriCam. For those of you who don't know, in the second half of the show, we add a few more locations thanks to the amazing AfriCam. And we get to visit some different spots across not only South Africa, but also in Africa. And that's going to happen at 1 p.m. Central African time. If you are watching on YouTube at the moment, this is the time to get yourself ready to hop on over to either the WildEarth app or website, where you can continue to watch the show. Otherwise, if you are in the UK, you can hop over to the Freeview channel to watch on your TVs, or in Southern Africa on DSTV channel 183. So we look forward to continuing the show with you, as well as with AfriCam. It's always exciting to visit a few new different places, see what's happening out and about. What's also nice is that because the weather is different across the different locations, we then get different animal behaviors and different types of animals that we may be able to see.